Hi, welcome to Truth, Trauma, and Tea with Miranda and Danny, where nothing is sugar-coated, healing gets real, and the tea is always hot.
We're two best friends diving into the messy, the meaningful, and everything in between. Because growth isn't pretty,
But it's always worth it.
So, this podcast is for people who've been through some things, still going through some things, and the ones who are trying to figure out how to get to the other side of it.
Yes, so we're going to be talking about trauma, relationships, boundaries, like real life stuff, but not the sugar-coated version of it.
And it's not going to be it's not going to be anywhere professional. This is our personal opinions, stuff we've been through, how we've coped with things,
Personal experience.
how we've came out on the other side, and there's going to be a little bit of tea, because who doesn't like a little bit of tea along the way? So this is our first episode, and we just kind of figured this would be a good time for everybody and our viewers to get to know us a little bit, and to also learn how we started our friendship, and how we became who we are today as besties, because there have been some obstacles that we've had to face along the way, and it's just wild that we didn't even know each other at all, and we lived in the same place for our whole life.
That's true. So, my name's Miranda. I'm a single mom from Mingo County here. I do work in the helping field, so I'm a therapist, and I love my job. But so that's kind of like my journey into becoming a therapist is kind of how we met through college. So like we lived in the same area, me and Danny, our entire life, and we never knew each other. But before we dive into that, I will let her tell you who she is.
So, a lot of people might know me as Danielle, but a lot of people also know me as Danny. Everybody calls me Danny, so that's just how I go and introduce myself these days, because it's just easier to remember. Because for the longest time, people would call me Daniel and not Danielle. So I was like, just call me Danny instead. So, when I met Miranda, I was actually single. I was a single mom. I was living with my parents, and I was in my bachelor's program, because I'm also a therapist too, which is how she said we met, was through school. I'm married now, and I live obviously with my husband, and I took on 5 bonus children on top of my biological child. So, how we met was we were doing like our orientation in 2020.
I feel like it was 2020. It's a long time ago.
For our bachelor's program, and then there was discussion posts that you had to be like, I'm Danielle, I'm from such and such place, this is how old I am.
And we were like, oh, I'm from
Mingo County too. we commented back on each other's posts, and then I was like, I'm finding her on Facebook. So I'm over here scrolling on Facebook, and I'm trying to find her, and I found her, and I messaged her and was like, hey, we live in the same place. We could study together. Yeah, sure. That was it. I was like, okay. And we would talk, but it's like, it was very like hit and miss.
Right. Never been like a super social person. I haven't. So I was just like, oh, hi. Like, I'm friendly, but
that's where we're leaving it.
That's kind of like, we never really talked a lot after that.
And we would talk when we would do like group sessions, like on virtual, or like stuff like. And every time, once she figured out who I was, and every time they said popcorn to somebody, she'd say, "I'll popcorn to Danny." And I was like,
I did do that.
You don't even know me. Why would you do that?
I did do that. That's true. So I think it was when we started our master's program. Yeah. So like in our master's program, like we done that together as well. Not planning it, because like at this point we're not friends, like we've barely talked to each other or whatever, but we both ended up doing the Lindsay master's program at the exact same time. And so there's a 2-day residency where you have to go to Columbia, Kentucky, and stay for two days, one night.
And I had messaged her and said, do you want to go to residency with me? Because I don't want to go by myself. And her response was, no, my mom's going to go. I said, okay. I'll get my hotel, which I did. I got my own hotel. I was in the drive-thru getting cigarettes.
I wasn't lying, by the way. Like, I had told my mom, like, I don't want to go up here to, like, this place by myself. Go with me and just stay in the hotel while I do my residency. Which would have been inconvenient because my mom don't even drive. And so she would have been stuck in the hotel. So I changed my mind.
And I was getting cigarettes in the drive-thru, little drive-thru, like, tobacco store. And she messages me and says, do you want to go to residency with me now? My mom's not going to go. I said, yeah, I'll cancel my hotel. We'll just split hers because hers was cheaper than mine. That was the first day we actually met in person. Was the day I met her to ride with her to Columbia, Kentucky.
Yes, we literally like decided, let's go on this road trip together. We've never met each other in person. We've never even talked on the phone. But we're going to go on this road trip together.
For almost 5 hours.
And stay in a hotel together and do this 2-day residency together. But I don't regret it. No. Because she did end up becoming one of my best friends.
I think at first, I'm a talker. I will talk.
She ain't lying.
I will talk to anything.
What do I always say? She will talk to a wall. Like, she will talk to anything. Even if it's not talking back. This girl will not stop talking.
So I know
I'm the complete opposite.
I know I talked her head off the whole time I got into the car. Because I was just like asking her questions like, is it okay if I vape in your car? Is it okay if I smoke in your car? Like, I'll get out of the car. I will. We could just have to stop.
And I don't know. Did you get offended when I was like, yeah, you do need to get out of my car to smoke?
No, because it's a respect thing. Like, some people just don't like it and some people don't do it, and I get that. So I was just like, I'll get out of the car and smoke. So when we'd stop at a gas station or somewhere, I'd get out of the car and I'd vape or I'd smoke and then get back in the vehicle or whatever. And we got to the hotel. Did we have to do residency that first day?
Yeah, we done it that first day, stayed that night, and then done the second day too.
Because we left.
But it was a blast. Like, I think we had like such a fun time.
How did we leave?
We had to leave so early because
we had to be there by like 8.
Yeah, we weren't going to stay the 2 nights, so we left super early to get there in time for the first day of residency. Stayed that night, and then there was the second day. But it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Even though I really feel like, I know that we like
trauma dumped
on the way, especially on the way back. I feel like on the way up there, it was like mostly her talking.
And she was probably like, God, what have I done?
No, I wasn't like that.
I'm
not judgy. I'm just not super like talkative. But on the way back, though, after we had formed like a connection, I feel like on the way back, it was like we trauma dumped on each other. We really did. And we realized that like we have both been through a lot of stuff. But I enjoyed residency. And like, I don't know, I was like a little nervous about the night at the hotel after the day at the college. I was like, okay, is this going to be weird? Because like we're sleeping in we got only one room. So like, I just met this girl and we're going to be sleeping in the same hotel room together. And I'm like, so I read my Bible and journal every night. When I jerk out my Bible and journal, like, what's she going to think? You know?
I just was like, doing my own thing.
Like, I'm going to just go ahead and do it anyways because it's my thing. Like, so I jerked out my Bible and my journal and like, we really didn't talk. I sat over there and I read my Bible and I journaled about it like I always did. And
we talked about residency and how the first day after residency, we had to find somewhere to eat.
Yes. Let me tell you how amazed we were.
That's like we were stupid.
When we found a dine-in Pizza Hut. And like, for us small town Mingo County girls, like everybody's like, we're going to this place and that place. And we're like, there's a dine-in Pizza Hut. And
I pointed it out and I was like, it's a dine-in Pizza Hut. We parked at a Mexican restaurant.
So like in our area, there's not a dine-in Pizza Hut and there hasn't been since we were a kid. And like that was the place to go, like as a kid.
Yeah.
And so
my last time actually eating at this Pizza Hut that was a dine-in place was my sophomore year of high school.
I feel like mine was after a cheerleading competition, like all of us went or something.
Then they closed it down and turned it into a car lot.
But anyways, so like we were like, no, we have to go to this dining Pizza Hut.
We parked at a Mexican.
We parked at the Mexican and we went.
Johnny.
Yes. So like we took pictures and everything of this dining Pizza Hut.
We were excited. And they thought we were crazy. Because they were like,
they did.
Are y'all from here? And I was like, no, we're about 4.5 hours away. And we've not had a dining Pizza Hut since we were really little. So this is fascinating. We thought y'all were all gone.
She ain't lying. But no, we had a blast, and even though we didn't really even talk that much that night in the hotel room, like I said, I'd done my own thing. She was doing her own thing. On the way back, I feel like is when it really
got like
we
trauma dumped. We got comfortable
for real, like we did. Like we trauma dumped on each other, and we were like, "Oh my gosh!" Like this. I was like, she's been through so much, and like I've been through so much, and a lot of it was a lot of the same stuff, but a lot of it was different too. And so I feel like that's kind of how our connection formed initially.
But when we got back from residency, we didn't talk.
That's hardly. True.
We got it was like crickets, and it would be like every now and then, like, "Hey, do you understand this assignment?" Or "Hey, do you know this assignment?" Or "Hey, I don't have a book because I didn't buy it because I'm cheap. Do you have a book?"
Yeah.
And then
neither one of us ever bought books. But no, we really didn't talk. Like, we didn't keep it talking.
No.
And I think
it got closer.
Did you message first when you was like, I'm needing a place to do my internship?
Yeah. I messaged you and was like, where are you doing your internship? Because I'm struggling. The job that I had was teaching Head Start. I could not do my hours in a timely manner doing that and going somewhere else completely different after work.
Right.
And doing 4 hours a day.
And that's when I told her, I was like, well, I'm working at a recovery center. So, like, the work that I'm doing, like, for my job is counting for my internship clinical hours. And I was like, and just so happens, I'm the only care coordinator up here right now, and I really need some help. So why don't you apply because they're hiring for somebody else?
And I said, okay. So I did.
And then she didn't show up for the interview.
I didn't.
She did not show up for the interview. And let me tell you, the way I was texting this girl, I even called her job.
I wasn't there.
At Cofield Cap. And like they sent me to her desk and she was not there. And I was like, and my supervisor, that I had went to and vouched for, like, yes, this girl was like great, She was like, where's your friend at? And I was like, I don't know. So I'm like calling and texting her.
I remember because you was like, did I scare you away because I said I didn't know if we both could do our internship up here at the same time?
Yes, because I told her, I was like, I know they're letting me do my internship hours. I don't know how that works. I don't know if they're going to let somebody else do it.
And I was like,
did I scare you away? Like, and I did.
I got into my head. That's why I didn't come. I was like, well, I'll figure it out because I can't take a chance at leaving jobs and being in the same boat.
But instead of just asking the supervisor,
my husband woke up and he said, I can go to your interview. Why are you still here? I said, because I didn't go. And he was like, why? I said, because what if they don't let me do my internship and all that?
You could have just called and asked.
And then I instantly regretted it. And then I was like, let me text the supervisor. Let me text the woman that was going to interview me and see if she'll give me another interview, which she did. She didn't have to, but she did. And her words to me was like, dude, if I would lie if I told you I never missed an interview. And I was like,
did she say that?
Yeah. She was like, I would be lying if I told you I'd never missed an interview. And I was like, okay. And I was just like, I had a situation. It was a situation that I could not reply back to anybody at the moment, and I just had to go and do what I had to do.
You see this, Julie, like it was a lie. She just didn't want to come to the interview at first. There was no situation.
I mean, there was. I was in my head. That's a situation. I was just having a rough go because I hate getting a job, being there for a year or two, and then leaving.
I hate leaving a job too.
So
I do. I'm a long termer. Like, once I'm with a job, I stay with it.
She offered me the job, and we ended up sharing an office, and that was it.
It was a wrap from there. Like, we became best friends Like, after that, like, we got so close. It was, like, FaceTime every night after work. It was lunch every day.
Sometimes we'd go to dinner after work.
But here's the thing. Like, we shared an office, like she said. And so, like, that is how we became best friends.
But it's also what caused us...
What caused our friendship to fall apart. And there was a good period where we was not friends.
And I take accountability for that, because I did things and said things to another person about her that I should have just told her. And I didn't. I didn't tell her about it until she was like, why did you say that? And I was like, well, I mean, you've seen it. So I think
a lot of it was that we were in each other's face 24/7. Because when I say we shared an office, literally we had our desk facing each other.
So we could see each other.
Stared at each other all day long, 8 hours a day, 5-6 days a week. And so...
And then you always have those people who put stuff in your head, too. Like...
That is true.
Oh, she overtalks you. She don't think that you're capable of doing your job, or...
Yes. So there was, like, a lot being said from outsiders. But, like...
And she's not a peacekeeper. I'm a peacekeeper. I don't tell nobody nothing. She's a peacekeeper,
and I'm, like, not...
I'm just, like... I'm not saying a word.
Well, I'm not saying I'm not a peacekeeper. I'm just saying, like, if someone comes up to me and is like, hey, so-and-so said this and has a problem with you, then I'm going to be like, hey, like, are you saying this? Because, like, if we have a problem, like, talk to me about it. You know, let me know. And so that's kind of the situation that happened. And we completely fell out after that.
Dude, I tried.
And I think it was a situation, though, where, like, have you ever said something and it's completely misunderstood and switched around before it gets back to the person?
Yeah.
And then, like, when it's confronted about, like,
everything
tensions are already high.
Everything changes.
And so it's less of a conversation. And so, like, there was a lot of lessons learned here. Because, you know... For one, we should have been saying stuff to each other instead of other people. And for two...
We shouldn't have been listening to other people.
We shouldn't have been listening to outside people. And this is not to talk bad about anybody at all, because this is just like talking about how our friendship fell apart was not communicate. Like, communication is key. I always say that. I'll always say that. And, like, if we had communicated with each other more about how we was feeling about certain things...
We probably would have never fell out.
We probably would have never fell out.
Not for as long as we did. It was 4 months.
And we, like, our work had, like, a big toll on us both. Like, we were both super busy, and we done the exact same job. And we were in each other's face every day. And so when it was like, well, so-and-so is saying you're doing more, or, like, you know, just the messy talk. And when I say that I've learned so many lessons since then, like, so many lessons.
I tried. I apologized. I tried to call her. I tried to Facebook message her, and she was not having it. So I was like, okay. And then one day she said, let's go have lunch together. And we drove down to Tish's Dishes, if you know where that's at. If you don't, I mean, I can't really explain it. But, and she got a honey bun cake. And I don't remember what I got, but I don't even remember
getting a honey bun cake.
She got
sound like something
she got a honey bun cake. Okay. And pretty sure it was honey bun cake. A honey bun cake, and I got like a Dubai brownie. We were sitting in her car eating it on the way back, and she was pretty much like, this is how you made me feel. I don't trust you anymore.
I broke up with her.
And I'm done. And I was like, noted. And I called her again that night. She would answer the phone. And I said, okay, I'm just going to have to deal with what I've done. I apologize. I took accountability for what I did. She held a grudge.
And, like, when she's saying, like, so I feel like that might be a little confusing. Like, when she's saying what I did, like, she didn't do nothing crazy. She had just, like, made comments to somebody else about me instead of coming and letting me know how she felt regarding work stuff. And so, yeah, she's not lying. I was like, and this is where the trauma comes in, though. And this is where, like, the flight or fight comes in. Like, when in the past you've been done wrong so many times, it's like your current friendships or current relationships, the first time something goes wrong, you're like,
out the door.
I'm out. Like, I'm done.
She definitely told me, peace out.
And I was like,
okay.
And she tried to talk to me for months, and I wouldn't give her the time of day. And I can admit that, but I can also admit that I regretted it.
Mm-hmm.
And I still regret it, because we really was like there for each other and like really good friends, and like we lost so much time just because I wasn't willing to hear her. Like, she was saying, like, yeah, I did say this out of emotion or heat of the moment or whatever it was, and I'm sorry, but I wasn't willing to hear it, because past trauma, it was like
a trauma response was for you
someone
to, like,
does something wrong, can't trust them no more, can't talk to them no more, like, it's over, bye.
And we had the friendship to where, like, if I called her and was like, I need you to be here, like, now, she would drop everything if she could and be like, I'm on my way.
And vice versa.
And she had called me one day, and I was at one at my mom's, and I was like 30 minutes from her house, and she was like, I need you to come over here ASAP. And I was like, getting my stuff now. I was at her house in like 20 minutes.
And those types of friendships is really not, like, you don't want to lose those, you know. And we did lose that for like, what, how many months
4
was
months.
it? 4 months. There was 4 months.
Did you left in October or September?
I think September. And like, we stopped talking a little before that, though.
So
like early September to
September, October, November, December, January. 5 months.
So 5 months. From like
maybe
early
5
September
or 6 months.
January. Yeah, there was like a good minute. Like, we did not speak at all. Like, nothing.
I actually seen her. She was going to get her hair done. I was getting my nails done, and she was like, hey. And I was like, hello. That was it.
And so I remember that day. We've not ever talked about this day. So that day, I felt like I was being the bigger person, because I hadn't talked to her in forever. And I was like, oh, I'm going to speak first, because like, it's been a minute, and like,
she was like, hey, how are you?
And I was like, hey, how are you? And she was like super short and dry with me.
I was like, good. How are you? I'm good. What are you doing?
We literally, that was awkward, because we sat in the same room for like a good 30 minutes and did not speak one word to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, we've never talked about that. You was the one short and dry.
I was short and dry that day, because I wasn't expecting to see you going to the hair salon where I get my nails done. I was not expecting it. I knew good and well we would run into each other eventually, but like, she was like, hey, how are you? And I was like, good, how are you? And she was like, I'm good. What are you doing? And I was like, getting my nails done.
Yeah, and then that was
she said, I'm getting my hair done, and I was like,
so fast forward, there was a night that I was sitting here. So like I said, I'm a single mom, 2 boys. I don't have like this ginormous village, you know, like a lot of people do. I'm not a super social person, so like, even my friendship circle, I can't even say I have a friendship circle. And so there was a night, and I can't even remember exactly what was going on, but I was like really struggling that night, and I just really needed someone to talk to. And I had messaged several like family members, and one of my friends, no response, no nothing. And I sent Danny a message.
It was like 5:30 in the morning. She was like, hey,
5:30 a.m.
Tried to call me.
Hey.
I didn't answer.
I even tried to call her,
and I was asleep, because Rolls had like completely went sideways. I was the night owl at first, and I was like, I'm up at 1 o'clock in the morning.
She was the night owl, and I was like in bed by like 8, 9 o'clock.
And then when we stopped being friends, I had nothing else to do other than like work, take care of like house stuff, cook dinner, take care of Maddie, make sure she done what she needed to do. And then I go to bed at 9:30 at night, 10 o'clock.
And so I turned into the night owl. So anyways, I'm up at 5:30. I'm struggling. I try to call her. I send her a message. She doesn't answer, obviously. She's asleep.
I message you back at like 9:30 in the morning, and I'm like, hey. And she's like, never mind, it was an accident.
I was like, that's an accident. I didn't mean to message you. I meant to message somebody else.
And then I messaged you
that
about
was a lie, because I totally meant to message her. But I wasn't about
to
admit it, because that was the time of like, in the time of struggle and emotion.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no. Like the next morning I was like, I'm good now.
I had messaged you after that though. It was like a week or so after that, I feel like. I don't remember what I even asked you. I asked you
don't
something.
remember. Might be something.
Was I asking you about our NCE?
Maybe. Something about our exam.
Oh, I asked you if you had scheduled your test yet.
Yeah.
And you said no. Have you? And I said no. Have not.
By the way, I take that next week, so wish me good luck.
I haven't got approved yet to test. But
That'll be soon.
Then she was like, "You want to talk on the phone?" And I was like, "You can call me whenever." We talked on the phone for 3 hours
that night. When we finally got back on the phone, we talked on the phone for 3 hours, and I feel like we've talked just about every day since. Like, we're back to...
It's like we never argued.
Yeah, we talked about it. Did go way, like, back to, like, how it was. But I feel like this time with, like, lessons learned, like, we learned a lot through, like, our little breakup. And
you find out really quick that everybody in your face is not your friend. I will tell you that.
And you also find out, like, the ones that, like, maybe it is ones that talk to you every day or whatever, but
they're not your friends.
At the time that you're, like, in need and need somebody, where are they at? You know?
And it's a whole other episode, but it's just people in your face that act like they give a crap about you. It comes out that they don't.
That doesn't necessarily mean that they do. Like, actions speak louder than words, and I will always say that.
I stand by that.
Yes, because I will say at the end of the day, when I've needed somebody, even like that night, like if you had been awake, I feel like you would have responded. You know, that first night that I messaged you.
Yeah, I don't drive in the snow. I hate it. I absolutely despise it. And we got a really bad snowstorm. And we haven't got a really bad snowstorm in a long time. She was freaking out because she didn't have her keys. And she was like, I can't get out. I don't have my keys. And my husband was home. And I said, I can't get off this hump. And he said, what are you going to do? And I was like, I need you to get me off this hump. Because I'm going to try. Slipping and sliding. I came and picked her up.
That is true.
And that's a terrible snowstorm.
That really is a whole different other story. Because, you know, why I didn't have my keys.
Me being,
you know.
Like you saying, I need you to come and get me.
Yes, I was like, you know, I was hanging out with so-and-so. They ended up leaving. They took my keys. And not for any good reason at all other than
they were just
being spiteful. Like, and took my keys. And I was like, I'm literally stuck, you know, and I don't have a way to leave, and I need you to come get me. And it was snowing so bad. The roads were
terrible. Terrible.
And she came and got me.
And my husband got me off the hump, and he said, there you go. And I said, okay.
And she took me straight to so-and-so, and I got my keys back. I got my car. We went home, and it was all good. But she showed up for me that night. Like, she did.
I mean, I feel like I always have.
You have, and
vice versa.
And vice versa. And so that's just a little bit, I feel like we just trauma dumped on them a little bit. Like,
they know.
On our friendship trauma, anyways.
Like, not every friendship is perfect.
That is true.
You're going to have arguments. You're going to have fights. You're going to have disagreements. She tells me stuff I don't want to hear, and I tell her stuff she don't want to hear all the time.
She tells me stuff that I don't want to hear all the time. We disagree. I would say that I would almost say that we disagree more than we agree, actually. Like, we see things very differently, especially when it comes to, like, friendships,
family stuff, maybe, like, kids. Like, we differ on a lot.
Parenting, stuff like that. Like, we do. We really do differ a lot. And that's why I've always said, like, yin and yang.
I'm a talker. She's not.
Like, we really are opposite in a lot of ways. But that's just, like, a little bit about us. We wanted to introduce ourselves and, like, share how we got to know each other. But I'm excited about this. We're going to talk about, like, a lot of lessons learned. I want it to be like a productive thing, like a shared experience, like share what we've been through and maybe it'll help somebody else. We'll be talking about a lot of trauma some tea, like she said, we'll never drop somebody's name though, because this ain't gonna be like a messy thing.
Yeah, it's not going to be messy. And if we're talking about tea and your feathers get ruffled, then you have a guilty conscience because we ain't
Facts.
saying no names.
Facts. So I'm really excited about it.
I am too. We do have an email set up. It's truthtraumaandtea@gmail.com. If you want to send us questions, because we'll do Q&A videos, we'll answer your questions in the episode that we have that week or that following week, depending upon when you send them. If you don't want to talk about your story and you don't want your name mentioned, but you want us to talk about it and give you some feedback, just our personal opinions, we can do that too.
Yeah, so send us your stories too, and like we're
going to be
do an episode about
setting this up on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. TikTok won't be full episodes; they'll just be clips, just to try to get it out there.
I'm cracking up at my cat. Because my cat, if you can hear it in the background, is like doing this weird meow. I don't know what's going on with her. But anywho.
And we'll have a Facebook eventually, but YouTube will be where our videos get posted for a while. And then TikTok will have clips and bloopers. Because you don't know how many times we've done this today. Before
That's
we were like,
true.
this is
like,
perfect.
The bloopers are going to be funny. But, no, we're excited about it. And, like, be honest. Like, don't be afraid to hurt our feelings. So let us know what you think. Like, this is
let us know what we can work on.
And this is not meant to be anything, like, professional or anything. Like, this is just something fun and personal that we're doing for ourselves. But we do hope that somebody gets something out of it.
Okay. Thanks for watching first episode. We'll see you next week.
Bye.